How you doing? My name's Pete Dunn. That's Neb and that's The Rock. We're here to bring you simple Bible prophecy. I'm from Louisiana, down in the Bayou State, and if you'll notice, there's not going to be any subtitles, and I don't have a beard. That's Neb's job. But down here, we have a lot of passion. We have passion for our sports, we have passion for food, we have passion for our music. Some even say we have a passion to really party hard down here. But you know what? Some of us have a passion for God. And I myself, I have a passion for Bible prophecy. And it's my purpose to bring you Bible prophecy in layman's terms, to simplify it for you. I've been a student of prophecy since 2000. I have a degree in teaching. I've done some coaching. And I believe in the KISS method of teaching. Keep it simple. Now, I don't have the greatest voice in the world, and I'm going to butcher the English language a lot during this session. So I just ask that you bear with me in my voice, and before this is all said and done, you're going to have a good understanding of the basic principles of Bible prophecy. Now, God never meant Bible prophecy to scare you. That was not his intention. While I'm teaching this class, I am not going to have atomic bombs going off behind me, pictures of Hitler's army and his tanks and everything rolling through back from World War II. I'm not going to have pictures like they do on the History Channel of gargoyles and dragons and demons and stuff like that. That's not my style. See, I'm here to inform you, to empower you, and to strengthen you for what lies ahead in the future. That's my job. Now, why am I doing this? Well, I've been studying prophecy, like I said, since 2000. And a few years ago, I came across this verse in Matthew chapter 24. Now, in this section, Jesus is talking to his disciples about the time that we're in right now. And he says in Matthew 24:10, 11, and 12, he says, "At that time, many will fall away and will betray one another and hate one another. Many false prophets will arise and mislead many. Because lawlessness is increased, most people's love will go cold." Now, Jesus is talking to his disciples, and he's not just talking about anybody that's walking around on the earth. He's talking about believers. He's talking about Christians. So why do the Christians turn? Betrayal and abandonment are the two leading causes of why many relationships end. See, most believers forget, some of them don't even know, that God says numerous times in the Bible, "I will never leave you or forsake you." And Jesus even told his disciples in John 14 that the Holy Spirit will always be with you. Always means exactly that. Always. So, how does this turning of the believers, how does this happen? Well, one of the leading tactics that the enemy uses to turn Christians away from God is confusion. If he can create confusion, then he can cause doubt. If he can cause doubt, then he can instill fear. And everyone knows that someone in fear is like wet toilet paper, just totally useless. All right? So how do we battle this? How do we battle this tactic of what's going on? Plain and simple. Know the truth. If you know the truth, you don't have to worry about the confusion. You don't have to worry about the doubt. You don't have to worry about the fear. So somewhere out there is the truth. So where do you get your truth from? Me personally, I get my truth from the Bible. It's the one solid rock that I depend upon. You see, Bible prophecy is one of those factors that sets the Bible apart from all the other scriptures that they have. Another reason I go to the Bible, it's one source, one true source. Let me give you an example. My father, he was a detective for a while. He used to be in forgery. There are all kinds of different counterfeit $100 bills out there. And when he first became a detective, they showed him how to study the $100 bill, not all the counterfeit bills. See, it's easier to remember the true design than the many counterfeit ones that are out there. There are even some bank tellers that can feel the difference in the paper money without even looking at it. That's how well they know the true bill. That's how well you should know the scriptures, so that you can tell when a counterfeit one comes along. Another example to really establish a good foundation is, let's take a basketball. We're going to bring it out and we're going to set it 10 feet away from you. Now the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. But let's do this. We're going to come back 10 feet away from that basketball, and we're going to turn 1 degree to the right. Because we're so close to that basketball, we're only going to miss the center of the basketball by 2 inches. But we're still going to hit it. Okay? Now, let's further the distance, and we'll even change the object. Let's go to the sun. So we're going to stand on the earth and we're going to walk towards the sun. But this time we're also going to turn that 1 degree to the right. Do you know that we'll miss the sun by over 1,000,000 miles? Not the center of the sun, from the edge of the sun. We'll miss it by almost 1,000,000 miles. See, the key is to not only start in the right place, but also that we're heading in the right direction. You see, we all face the future. Prophecy reveals to us that future. So where do we start? Imagine prophecy as a puzzle. We just have to find and locate the right pieces and put them in the right places. See, God has a plan and He has all kinds of details. And He's a God of patterns. So let me give you an idea of where not to start. The book of Revelation, the last book in the Bible. How many of you pick up a book and go to the last chapter in the book and read it and expect to understand everything that's going on? You remember Sir Isaac Newton? You know, he's the guy that brought us the concept of gravity. Okay? He was a famous English scientist, but not many people realize that he spent the latter part of his life, he was a student of Bible prophecy. And even he said that without Daniel, we cannot understand Revelation. You see, Daniel is the key to Bible prophecy. It is the rebar to concrete. It is the skeleton to the human body. That's where Neb and the rock come in. That's right. It all starts with Neb and the rock. That's our starting point. Now, I had my 10-year-old niece, Madison, draw this up for me so that y'all could see him. And the rock, I just picked that up out of my yard. But believe it or not, this is our basic foundation. These two right here is the basic foundation for all of Bible prophecy. And if you can begin to understand these two, then you will have a great foundation to which to start, and will keep you going in the right direction. Why a statue? Why a rock? You know what? God is a God of stories. He's the one that brought us Daniel in the lion's den, David and Goliath, Samson and Delilah. Even Jesus told the parables about the Good Samaritan and the sower and the seed. All right? He's a God of stories. Why? Because it's easy for us to understand. And here's where it all starts. Right here. It's going to be a whole lot easier to understand a statue and a rock. And believe it or not, this statue and this rock will cover 3,600 plus years. That's right, 3,600 plus years. But it's something that we won't forget. That's why God gave it to us this way. It's easy to remember. See, He knows what makes us tick. He knows what's going on. And most people know about the statue, but they forget about the rock, and the rock's the most important part. So let me give you a little bit more information so that you'll have a better understanding of what's going on. I know it's just the introduction, but at least you'll have a good foundation for when we get started. You see, this statue and that rock represent a basic outline. You remember the outlines that you used to do in English class back in junior high school? You had Roman numeral 1, then your main subject, then underneath that you went with your capital letter A, then you had that subject broken down a little bit more, then you went down to the small number 1, then the little a, then you went to Roman numeral 2, went to another main subject. It's the same process. That's all it is. It's the same process, and God uses it, but He puts it in the form of a statue. So it's easy for us to remember. You see, the key is to find the pattern. This is the pattern that God gave us, and He uses it throughout the Bible, but He especially uses it here in Bible prophecy. All we need to do is go through the Bible and pick out these patterns. It's that easy. I hope I've kept it simple enough for you so far, because these two really are the key to Bible prophecy. Now, for lesson 1, I'm going to ask you to read Daniel's chapter 1 and Daniel chapter 2. Basically, those 2 chapters are about this statue and that rock. There's some symbolism in there. Don't let it scare you. Just go ahead and read it. Read it as many times as you can. Join me for lesson number 1. Hope I see you there. And remember what Jesus said in John 14:19. Because I live, you will also live. Thank you, and I hope to see you again.